We went down to Scituate one day recently to find out what's going on with local fishermen. There, we met with boat skipper Frank Maraki.
We're here today with Frank Maraki in Scituate Harbor, and we're standing on the roof of the wheelhouse, he tells me, right? And it was a little hairy getting up here. We don't have pictures of that, but Frank is the skipper of this boat, and it's the Barbara L. Peters out of Scituate. And how long have you been fishing, Frank?
Yes, I've been fishing now for 50 years from this pier.
And you're the owner of this boat, and this is a big boat. How big is the boat?
The boat is 55 feet long and 22 feet wide. There's one other person besides myself, a crew of two. We're limited because of the quota system. We don't have enough fish to catch to support a third person, so we're running the boat what's called shorthanded. The quotas are administered by the federal government by an agency called the National Marine Fisheries Service, and their purpose is to keep us from overfishing, from depleting the fish stocks. So the amounts of fish are very, very limited and very constraining because they're actually trying to rebuild stocks that have been depleted in the past to levels that will support higher levels of fishing. But at this point, we're still in the rebuilding mode, not in the harvesting mode. It's been a process of attrition. The regulations over the past decade have just made it harder and harder, and a lot of people just couldn't deal with the economic stress and left the business. My son had been with me for a number of years, but he's left simply because the income is too unstable. You know, he's working ashore presently, and there used to be as many as 20 or 22 both sides of this pier. Now there are 7.
Enter SOSSEXI, a new group formed to help local fishermen by bringing fresh fish to local South Shore markets. I talked with Marge Bates, a Scituate glass artist, who's one of the founders of the group.
And Marge runs the group called SOSSEXI. That's a strange name. What is it?
South Shore Seafood Exchange.
And what are you basically doing?
We're a community-supported fishery.
Never heard of such a thing?
You've heard of the farmers, the CSAs,
Correct.
the consumer-supported. We're the same thing, but with fish.
Okay.
We have this beautiful commodity right in our backyards. Fish. People love fish. It's a jewel. We don't want to lose it. Buy fish at your local food store. That's one thing. If you have it right out of the ocean, that's an entirely different subject. It's the fish in the food stores. I don't know if you're aware, but so 95% of the fish in this big chain supermarket is imported.
But most Americans really want to buy seafood that's sustainable and local. That's why I wanted to learn more about SOSSEXI.
Okay, so you get the fish, and you have members who belong to this group?
Yes, if you want fresh caught local fish, you go to the website and you choose either a ½ pound, 1 pound, or 2 pound. You choose if you want to pick it up in Scituate, Cohasset, or Hanover. And one day a week you come to that location that you select and pick up your fresh fish. It's all cleaned and bagged and ready for you to just put on your grill.
So you're just starting up again in May, now that the long winter is over.
Long winter is over.
Now we're going to take a walk down the street to the Roman table where Marge is going to be distributing the first batch of fish this season.
Yay!
We walked half a block down Front Street to the Roman Table, a gourmet shop where Marge set up in the kitchen in the back of the store. That's where SOSSEXI customers came to pick up their fish. Marge kept the fish in Ziploc bags on ice in coolers. Today's offering was pollock.
This is one of our members, Marianne Odell. Marianne's new to our community-supported fishery. Marianne brings her little card in for the prepaid fish that she purchased online, and she hands it to whoever's here, and we give her her fish. And so today, Marianne's going to get a ½ pound of pollock. How are you going to cook it?
That was a question I had for you.
Well, you can cook it just like any other whitefish. A lot of people just like the tried and true flounder.
A lot of people like Mrs. Paul's frozen fish stick.
A lot of people like that, indeed.
Yeah. They don't know what they're missing.
And a lot of people are afraid.
Right.
A lot of people are afraid. So what we do is we supply recipes on our website.
That week's recipe was pollock fillet with sautéed almonds. Or maybe you'd prefer a Mediterranean preparation for your pollock. That's also on the website.
Great.
It's wonderful.
Show us that bag here.
It's so simple.
Is this the
My
logo?
So Sexy bag.
Yes.
So
sexy.
Can't wait.
Have fun. You're very welcome.
Today's offering is pollock. Have you ever cooked pollock before?
I don't think so. I'm going to bake it maybe in a little lemon juice, white wine, olive oil.
While Marge was helping the customers, I went back to the pier to talk to Captain Frank.
Very welcome. I see all these nets that are rolled around these big winches and back. So this is a dragger.
That's correct. This is a dragger, also known as a trawler. And the way it catches fish is that it tows one of these nets along the seabed. It skims actually along the seabed and catches the fish that swim in the water column close to the seabed. Species like cod or haddock or different kinds of flatfish known as generically as flounders.
So you haul the nets up. The nets are full of fish, and they're on the deck. And then what?
We have out of sight down on the main deck a sorting conveyor. So the fish are run over that conveyor. We pick out the ones that we're legally allowed to keep, lower it into the hold, and then layer it into plastic boxes with layers of fish and layers of ice in between the two, and ready for market. The fish that are going to Marge at SOSSEXI are delivered up to Mulaney's Fish Market on Allen Street, and they're processed there for distribution to the SOSSEXI members. Those fish species right now are severely limited in numbers by this quota system. So in addition to those species of fish, we have things like dogfish, which is a small shark, skates, which is basically a ray-like animal that swims along the bottom, and whiting, which is a small silvery fish that actually looks like a miniature barracuda. Those are three species that are in copious supply and not very severely limited in the amounts that we can catch. The problem with those is that the market is severely limited because there isn't much demand because people don't know about these species of fish.
Are these white fish?
Yeah, all three of them are white-fleshed fish. Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
oily fish. They're basically similar to, but not absolutely identical to a cod. The textures are a little bit different in some cases. The sizes are a little bit different. They're different, but they are white fish. And for the most part, we either just grill or saute them just as we would a whitefish. They're pretty much interchangeable. I mean, scientists tell us that for every cod in the ocean right now, there are 100 dogfish.
Wow.
And there's a huge imbalance out there.
Wow,
So
wow,
just even a modest market for dogfish would maybe make a difference.
And who's this little guy?
This is Timmy.
Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy, how you doing? Look at the camera over there, Jimmy. See, you like fish.
You do like fish.
Oh, you do, huh? That's Neil.
SOSSEXI hopes that younger people especially will try and learn to love a wider variety of local fish. SOSSEXI will host an event in late June for members to sample skate, dogfish, and other non-traditional fish prepared by local chefs. You can visit them online at sossexi.org.